Hi, we're live. And hi, Brenda. Thanks for joining us. Who else we got out there? Let's have a look. I've got 3 waiting, apparently. Okay, and 3 thumbs up already. We're looking good.
Brilliant. That's good.
All right. Right, everybody, I'd like you to meet Dom. Dom is from the Foodie Kitchen Review. And we'll wait till a couple more of you get in. And we'll wait for a couple more of you to get in before we start with the questions. And if I look like I'm thinking hard, it's because I'm thinking hard. Jen, hi.
Very good.
Hi, Melissa. Melissa was on last night.
Hello, Melissa.
How you doing, Melissa? Nice to see you. Everybody say hi to Dom. Brenda, I still owe you a gift for putting that video in for me. Hi, Helen, Lady Likeables. How you doing? Nice to see you. Everybody meet Dom. So, how long have you been going now, Dom, on your channel? It's fairly new, isn't it?
Yeah, about 4 months. About 4 months.
4 months. Well, you're doing well for 4 months. I think I'd been in. I think I'd been in 10 months when I first went to Trinidad, and I only had 100. After 10 months, you know, I was like in the doldrums. I think it's because I'm a bit of a rebel and YouTube doesn't like me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Right, it's great. Right. We can start right now because we don't want to keep the people who watch the video after this waiting. So I'm sure the people here present will be quite happy for us to start right now. So, right, straight in with it then, Dom. Why YouTube? What made you decide to become a YouTuber?
You know, I used to watch YouTube, and you know, I've always been a big admirer of YouTube. But you know, the actual, you know, sort of change from appreciating YouTube and watching the content to saying, okay, I'm going to be a content creator, and you know, I'm going to film these videos and I'm going to edit. You know, that's quite a big jump. And you know, it kind of started in the first lockdown, and you know, had a lot of time on my hands, and I started to watch these you know, kind of videos on YouTube. And there's this amazing YouTuber called Ken from the Humble Penny, and it's all about, you know, it's all about financial intelligence, and it's all about building different forms of passive income. And he talks about a blog, and he also talks about a YouTube channel. And you know, he, you know, is such an amazing guy, such an amazing YouTuber, and his enthusiasm and his passion really sort of gave me that inspiration to say, okay, I could commit, I could give that time to creating a YouTube channel. And the subject is very important, and for me, it's food, obviously, because I absolutely love food. So I knew, you know, 4 or 5 months ago that I wanted to do a YouTube channel, and you know, I knew I wanted to do food as well.
Excellent. Right, I'm going to put a ticker tape up. There we go. Yeah, very interesting. Excellent. Hi to who we got now? Let's have a look. We've got Patrick from Paddy Joe Cooking. We've got Jen. We've got Lady Likeables. We've got Melissa. We've got Brenda. So Bren's here. Excellent. Have I missed anyone? Shout at me if I have. And we'll fire the next question now at Dom. What channels are your main source of inspiration for what you do now?
Yes, yeah. I thought you could ask this question because I mean, there's so, you know, there's so many, and you know, I think the main, you know, sort of the main guys that, you know, the people that I really take my inspiration from, you know, are people like Not Another Cooking Show. Adam Garrett is very good as well.
Yeah, Adam's good.
Yeah, he is. Also binging with Babish as well. He's very, very good. Quite a big kind of YouTuber. And I'm not going to pronounce his surname correctly, but Ethan Chelowski. He's like a American kind of Polish guy, and he's absolutely awesome. And sort of these guys have sort of something.
Is that the Polish chef, the Polish cook, or Polish chef?
No. His roots are Poland, but he is a kind of American, and he produces the most amazing content. And sort of when you look at all of those YouTubers, they have that one thing in common, and that is absolutely phenomenal content.
Yeah.
But I will say this, kind of starting the YouTube channel, YouTube is all about community, and all of those smaller YouTubers out there is absolutely amazing. And I never knew that existed, but once you kind of start and you get going and you see what is going on, it's incredible stuff. And so I've been doing it 4 months. I've got now like 516.
Okay, you're doing well,
yeah. But really in the first kind of month or two, I only kind of had 60, and it kind of took me a little sort of time to get going.
Yeah. I remember when I first started, I was stuck on 12, and it seemed like forever to me at the time. I only had 12, and I looked at it the next day and I only had 12. I looked at it days later and I only had 12, and then it jumped up to sort of 60, and then I don't know how it works. But I get like 90% of more than 90% of my income comes from, and I don't get a lot of income. It's just a top up, 90% of that comes from 3 videos, most of which are more than 2 years old.
It's amazing.
Go figure.
I think the really amazing thing is how lovely everybody is, and that's that kind of so that comes in the comments section, and you see how supportive and just how lovely
they're great.
Everybody is with each other. And for me, when I had those kind of 60 subscribers, and it was quite slow moving. But then a fellow YouTuber, Chris the Butcher, I know Chris. Yeah, saw my videos, and then he kind of posted it on his channel, and then I thought, blimey, people are so nice around here. So it's pretty amazing.
Chris is great. He'll try and bring you on. He like a lot of us, he understands what it's like to struggle as a new channel, and that's still fresh in our minds. Still very, very fresh and visceral in my mind. So if it's in my gift to help a new channel, and not just anyone, but people I think have got talent, I'll certainly push them forward and expose them on my own platform if it's in my gift. Right, okay. Having said all that, how would you describe your channel? And that we can extend that to say, how would you like to describe your channel?
Okay, so when I first started this up, you kind of think about all the names, don't you? And you kind of brainstorm, and sort of me and my fiance Eloise, we're kind of talking about it, and we're like, okay, it'd be nice to get a kitchen there. It'd be nice to get review in there, and kind of eventually, it was the it's the kitchen foodie review. Okay, so this is the channel name, but my original concept, the kind of thing that I first thought about was actually having food products and reviewing those, then cooking with those. And that's what I did. If you go to video number 1, it's kind of sitting on 700 views. You've got Marsh Pig, and that's a really local producer to me. And I actually, I've met the 2 ladies that produce it, and it's all free range charcuterie. It's incrable. And
I was very impressed with that. I think I commented on one of those charcuterie
videos. You did.
Yeah. I love charcuterie. I'm a big deal on that. In fact, I've got a little. I went to the little cheesemonger and captured a little bit of video of my haul from there, and that's my next video. So that should be up. Soon. Midweek.
Perfect. Yeah. Exactly. So that's really how it started. It was looking at really amazing products, sort of close to me. It didn't necessarily, that didn't necessarily have to be close to me, but just products that I really loved. And that's kind of where it started. But then I thought, okay, so I think that my viewers, that my potential audience would appreciate sort of that cooking more. And the original inspiration was taking those guys that actually just review products and those guys that cook, and amalgamate the two together. But then I thought, okay, so sort of maybe I could do a little bit more cooking. So then it was my more recent videos, it's kind of changing the concept a little bit, and this is more about sort of cooking different cuisines from around the world. So I've done English, I've done Welsh, Czech. You'll see another video tomorrow, which I'm super excited about.
Czech food is great, from what I've seen
exactly.
so far. Yeah,
and I kind of released my video last week, and my mum and dad watched it, and they thought, it's it's a very good video, Dom, but you should sort of talk about the Czech Republic a little bit more, because when I was younger, when I was 19, I actually moved to Prague and spent a year of my life there. So it's quite interesting, because I've tried something a little bit different with tomorrow's video, and that is telling the story a little bit more. And okay, it is cooking, essentially it is cooking, but also it's a little bit more about me. And I think that's an important point, with the channel. It's it's doing what you love, what you're passionate about, but you need to give people that insight about you, about your character. Obviously, you can't give too much, and there's that sort of balancing act, which is a skill, and takes time.
Yeah, I think I did a little bit of short bit of time as a salesman, and I learned that that people don't buy features, they buy benefits. So when they look at adverts, they get really caught up by looking at the lifestyle parts of it, because that's the benefits of that thing that they're selling. So I always used to wonder why they showed someone having a great time and doing this and that instead of showing the product. But it makes sense. They're selling the benefits, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Carol's in the house. Hi, Carol.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. Who else we got? Anyone else new in? No, not just yet. Okay. Or if they're there, they're not talking. That's all right. we can handle that as long as you're watching and giving the thumbs up. The thumbs up's important. We can't overstress this. Poor YouTubers. We need the thumbs up. It really helps us out.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
It does, doesn't it? Absolutely. Well, if nothing else, it gives us that warm, fuzzy feeling as well.
Yeah.
Right, next question. You've almost already answered it, but what prompted you to go in this direction?
Yeah, so as I said, it's that original lockdown and having a lot of time on my hands, so I read a lot of books, but I also watched a lot of YouTube as well. And that is the phenomenal thing about YouTube. You get absolutely everything, and I just love the diversity. But I think what's interesting is you're like the byproduct of something. So you originally do something for a particular reason. However, there are some side benefits there. So I mean, there are so many really, and I do really enjoy my cooking. I think that's great. But the skills I've picked up, I've also learned, sort of how to edit videos, which I never thought I would enjoy, but I actually do really enjoy. It's hard work and it's quite labor intensive, but I do enjoy that. And, just kind of making food look good. It's a real skill by taking a good, picture, thumbnail. I mean, to be a top YouTuber, you need so many kind of skills there. And, to kind of present yourself well, and to be able to
just making thumbnails. I mean, that's hard enough in itself, isn't it? I've recently learned. I've had this flash camera for years, but I've only just recently learned to start using aperture priority and getting that tight focus with the fuzzy background, and that's great for thumbnail shots. It's perfect for a lot of things as well, and for I do quite a lot of those montages at the end of my video that sort of sums up the video.
Yeah, exactly. And there is so much to learn, And of course, you can take inspiration, like from the bigger YouTubes, but there is equally. I mean, there's so much to learn, from kind of smaller YouTubers, and I think that's what I really love, that kind of community feel, and how everybody is, and like what I like to do, is kind of like reach out to people. So if I watch someone's video and it's a certain element, or I probably like it all, but like a certain bit, I thought, oh, that's really good, I'll send them a message, I'll send them an email, say, oh, really loved your video, really loved how you zoomed in on that map, it looked great, can you give me like an insight there? And yes, what most of the time people do. So I'm only four months in, sort of 4 or 5 months in, but it's very early days, and I think to be frank, it's it's actually kind of longer term journey. You kind of flip through YouTube channels and you see some people 3 years ago posted 12 videos and then that was it. But actually, you need to be consistent, and to grow your channel, it's all about consistency, right? So,
absolutely, yeah, definitely. People, I think your people. I often change the format of what I do. I mean, this is a completely new thing for one.
Yeah, this is new.
And I'm not traditionally a live channel, whereas Chris the Butcher, of course, he's done a lot of lives, and then he does the odd review, and then he'll go off and cook something.
Yeah,
but why not? We're all developing, and I think really that I kind of like this. I really do enjoy doing this because I'm interacting with people like yourself, finding out about you, and I do have a genuine interest in people. I was in the army for a long time, but I was in leadership training and adventurous training, and did quite a lot of that sort of thing. Really, what I suppose what they call team building in modern, and I was kind of into that. Anyway, Lisa, hi Lisa, thanks for joining us. Hey up. Right, we've got another question now for Dom. We've already done the when did you start your channel. Which is your favorite of your published videos to date?
Okay, I'd say this is quite an easy one actually, and it'll be my last one. As my last one was, a nice beef goulash, and like a lot of people say, like if each video gets better, but I would say with me, I do really feel this simply because each time, like I'm picking up like a new skill, and because it's so early days, and because I'm like pushing myself, I really have my targets, and really push myself hard to improve with it. Like the last one, is great, and that was the start of something. That was the start of, okay, I cooked my English food and then my Welsh food, and then I said, right, I'm going to do some Czech food. So so I got in touch with Christina from a Czech cookbook, and sort of reached out to her, and that was great. And it's all very last minute. I generally post my videos on Monday evening, and it was like Sunday I sent her another message saying, look, can I include some of your video in mine? And it worked a treat, and it was it was a good video, and it took me a lot of time, like a lot of time to edit. But I think because when I was 19, I went to Czech Republic and spent a year there. It was just a really nice feeling. And I was thinking earlier today, it's so lovely how when you are living something, and you have your past, it's really nice in the future how you can bring that up, in like a positive way. And it's a good video because
aren't they a beautiful people, the Czech? Is it just me? But they're also handsome and beautiful, and
yeah.
It must be the food and the beer, I think.
yeah, like they have got a certain style, I guess. But I'd say that they do look extremely good for their age. I used to work with some people, and like the women, so in particular, they'd be 40, 50, and they'd look sort of 25,
stunning,
30. Yeah. So it must be something in the water, or something.
Yeah, it's the beer. It's definitely the beer.
Yeah, it is. It is.
and those fabulous dumplings they do. I had a German stepmother, and there was one Czech dish she did, and it was with like fluffy potato dumplings, and they it was so good.
Yeah,
so good. Right, Elizabeth's in the house. Thanks for joining us, Elizabeth. Elizabeth Roblin. Right, next question for Dom. Let him have a swally first. This is probably Which of you? I've seen you doing in your outtakes, because you include them in some of your things, don't you? Which of your videos did you have the most fun filming? This is the question I've been waiting to ask you.
Okay. So keep laughing. I can actually think of a couple. So the first one would be my English roast dinner. So this was sort of typical traditional Sunday roast that we have in England. So I did sort of roast chicken and potatoes and carrots and gravy. Trouble was, it was like a month or two ago. So you have quite strong sun, and I cook in my kitchen, and I've got kind of Velux windows, and the kind of sun just shines through, and it sort of ruined the filming a little bit. So so I tend to get a little bit frustrated, sometimes. So I'd say that was, because at the time I was really annoyed and sort of frustrated, but looking back, I kind of laugh about it a little bit. The second one, the thing that I think is quite funny actually, would be my puff pastry tart. Now, I came up with a few different recipes, and my partner Eloise said, okay, you should do this tart, like this puff pastry tart. And she sent me this recipe, and it had phyllo pastry. So, I went out to get my phyllo pastry, and I kind of cut the square, and I put the filling in the middle and put the egg wash around the outside, wax it in the oven. Looked 15 minutes later, and it hadn't risen much. And I'm not a kind of whiz with sort of baking, and pastry, but of course I'd got the wrong pastry completely, and I'd used the phyllo instead of the puff. So this is Saturday afternoon at 3:30. So I sort of rushed down to Morrison's in a real flap, because I'm trying to get all the filming done, because I sort of do it in one day. When came back, got the puff pastry, redid it, kind of scraped it all off the phyllo, put it back on the puff, whacked it in the oven. There you go, lovely job. So I think some things, in my cooking, sort of catalogue, repertoire, I'm quite confident on, but certain things I'm learning at, and I'm sure I will improve, but I certainly won't be mixing up those pastries again.
I was saying last night, my outtakes are just completely unprintable. I take pride in being a family channel. I try to avoid swearing and that, because I want to encourage children to cook as well. And parents aren't going to let the children watch it for meffing and blinding all the time. I could. I'm an ex-soldier. I can swear, but I really want to encourage children to cook.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's kind of strange sometimes, and sort of sometimes when you sort of think things aren't going well, okay, like I could be a mistake. So last night I made some naan breads, and I put them in a warm place to prove 3-4 hours. Came back, and it looked exactly the same. However, it turned out absolutely lovely. So I thought they proved, but they didn't, and they were fine. So
yeah, these people are lovely. They'll forgive you anything anyway. They're great. And by the time you've got into the big numbers, you'll be a polished act anyway. So it's but it only takes really one video to go. Somebody just posts your video and it gets syndicated. Boom, you just take off like that. I think I flew up from about 5,000 to 8,000 in March. I just went up. One of my videos got put somewhere, and it just tracked it. I was looking at it every day and thinking, what? I'm getting all these comments. So it just happened like that, and it can. And and it wasn't a new video, so it doesn't matter what your video is and how long ago you made it. It only takes that to trip the wire, and boom, it goes off.
Yeah.
It's like crazy
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Patrick didn't know that Pete knew any swear words. What the?
A little bit of sarcasm there, maybe.
Which of your videos was the hardest to film for you?
Okay, that's a hard one. Okay, I'm just looking through them now.
That's all right. Take your time.
Yeah.
The rest of you talk amongst yourselves, all right? Yeah. I can't even think what mine was. Oh, I did do some overhead shots, but you've seen where I work. I've got this tiny little kitchen, and I do it all from that. I've actually sailed on boats with bigger galleys than my kitchen. That's just the way it is. Andrew's in the house. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? Haven't seen you for a while, Andrew. You've been hiding from us, mate. Or maybe he's just been there. He's been there. He's one of the watchers and thinkers, is Andrew, I think.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, mate.
So I would say, out of all of the things that I've cooked, I mean, I wouldn't say anything has been particularly hard so far. Yeah, but maybe that's because I'm not challenging myself enough. But I'd say my kind of Halloween special, where I did a few different dishes, I'd say that was quite a lot of hard work. It was all quite straightforward, and so I planned it, so hopefully it would run smoothly, and it kind of did. But I certainly think that things can go wrong in the kitchen, as I was talking about the pastry episode earlier. And as soon as you're talking like about bread, and pasta, and desserts, and sort of tarts and sort of things like that, I think things can go wrong. But I'm quite a savoury cook. I like to cook lots of sort of meat and kind of sauces and
sort
of lots of different things, and that's great. But I suppose part of this journey, really, sort of YouTube journey, is kind of testing myself. I'm kind of testing myself in a whole sort of load of different areas. But one of them should definitely be the actual food. Like the actual cooking, and sort of trying new things. And when I see certain sort of recipes and certain videos, and sort of somebody's making bread, and sort of, why can't I try that? So I certainly think the Halloween special, in answer to your question, would be the one that took quite a bit of work, but it all looked sort of good in the end. I just wanted a good kind of spread and that kind of visual of not just one dish, but sort of multiple dishes. And okay, we couldn't invite people around because of COVID, but at least the sort of vision was that.
If you ever go on the road, invest in something like that to put your SD cards in. It's a little water. It's £6-7 from Amazon. It's a little hermetically sealed thing to put your SD cards in. If you go on the road, for me, the hardest thing is when I go on the road and I come back with several days or 2 weeks worth of footage in the can, and it's trying to sort through it. Forget it. It just takes so long. So it's such hard work, but really worth it. What I did the first time I went to Trinidad and came back and I quick fired videos out. So that was a bit silly, really, because after 2 weeks I'd exhausted all my footage. So the second time I went there, I came back and I let them drip out one every 3 or 4 days then.
Perfect. Yeah.
Stupid on me, that was. Anyway, right. Next question. Are you good so far? Do you think you've answered that question? I think you have.
Hopefully.
I think so. Brenda's getting a bit cheeky in the comments. Look, eh?
Oh, is she?
Pete stubs his toe and says, "My goodness, that didn't feel good."
Lovely.
Yes, quite. absolutely. I'm a member of Polite Society. That's it. What's this? Patrick saying, I've realised that I didn't have my notifications for Dom's channel. Go to the naughty corner now.
Thank you. That's so kind.
That's great.
Yeah.
He's a good egg, he's Patrick. It's a good egg.
He is.
One of the good ones.
Absolutely.
I love his videos too.
Yeah.
G'day, mate.
Funny videos. Yeah.
Yeah. And the music's good as well. He's got better music than me. And I tried to play when I tried to play that film of his on my channel, I got a strike for the music because Patrick's got permission and I haven't, if you know what I mean. So you've got to be careful with stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
You need to be really careful.
They tried to DM me for it, and I ended up having to take that section out. But at least Patrick's now got that film released on his own channel, so it's good to go. Right. Another question. Which of your videos have got the most views so far?
It would be the last one, the Czech one, the beef goulash. So that's sitting on 722. Which I'm very
that's going to do well for you. If it's doing that already, that's going to fly off.
Really?
That one pulled my eyes out, mate. It pulled my eyes out.
7 days ago. But my first ever one was like 702. So it went from 702. Second video was 192, then 147. So my first one, was quite high. So I just can't work it out. I just can't work out. You're
getting good numbers for the amount of time you've been out there. You're getting good numbers, so you're doing well on your keywords. You're doing well on all that. It seems to be that you're getting all that right in your title, in your description, and in your keywords. As long as you're doing that, you should be getting out in front of people. And your content's very good, and people are going to enjoy it. There's a kind of lifestyle element to it as well, which is a big seller. It's something I can't really do in this place, not until I get my multi-million-pound studio. That is,
Exactly. Yeah. Soon, hopefully.
So it is that I think that one's going to really take off because it really pulled my eyes out, and I think probably a lot of people who watch your channel probably say the same thing. But your best is still to come, Dom. Your best is still to come.
Exactly.
You know it.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
How do you formulate your recipes? What I tend to do is I've got a rough idea for a recipe in my mind. I've got loads of recipes, and what I do is I go out there and I look at every video I can about it, but not the top ones, not just the top ones. I go scroll down a few and then look at the ones down there, the ones at the top, and then I'll take notes, and then I'll think, I'll plagiarize that bit, and I'll plagiarize.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the best thing about cooking, and food, to make it yours. And with certain things, it's quite easy to follow that recipe. But I'm, very much of a kind of freestyle cook, and I like to use something, of inspiration and just kind of look at a recipe and think, okay, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to put my own kind of twist on it. And that's probably why I'm not so much for a baker, because you need to follow everything by by the gram and make sure it's all perfect. But in answer to your question, with recipes, and different things, it's just having a kind of rough idea. Certain recipes, I just know off the top of my head. So when I was young, I used to sort of love people like Jamie Oliver, Gordon Ramsay. I mean, I still do, but I used to watch a lot of their kind of programs, and it's always been in me. And I was never a cook or chef, but I kind of studied at school, and so off and on, I've always been cooking. I've always been cooking. It's always been a passion, and I've always really, really enjoyed it. And for a lot of people, sort of when they're coming home, they're saying, it's sort of they're a bit tired and a bit stressed. But for me, that's a really good time, to unwind and to come home after hard days at work, and to cook is nice because I can relax. That's my kind of chill time. And
Chill pill, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. I find it relaxing. I've never found cooking a chore, and I'll add in a question now that I haven't thought of and didn't come up yesterday either. Is how early did you start cooking, and when did you realise that you really enjoyed it and that you were going to carry on doing it?
Yeah, so I think like around 12, 13. So I'm from Norwich, UK, England, and we
used to live near there.
Did you? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's
I lived in Thorrington in Suffolk, and I lived in Lowestoft for a while.
Nice. Yeah,
I worked in Norwich in the IT industry for Sir Clangy.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lovely city, and the county of Norfolk. If anybody ever comes to England, once this horrible lockdown and sort of COVID,
there are only 4
away.
or 5 cities in the UK like it. The bucolic cities, I call them.
Yeah,
they are cities in every sense of the word, but they've got that nice bucolic feel about them. They feel more countrified. They feel more laid back. Norwich is one of them, and Truro, and I can think of a few like it. Taunton, Salisbury, Shrewsbury. They're kind of like it as well.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. It's very
Brenda's
nice.
Brenda's said, Pete and Dom, they've got something called goulash here in the USA, and it's bloody awful. I ordered it and thought it would be steak and paprika like the Hungarian version, but got minced beef and macaroni. That is so true.
Unlucky.
There's a guy I'm checking out who we're going to be looking at in 2 weeks' time, and he did the American goulash. It's called American goulash, and it. But I kind of liked his version. It's like a cooked outside in his lodge, heavy steel pots. Not steel, iron pots. Yeah. I think it matters really how well it's done, Bren, but I can see what you mean. If you were expecting Hungarian beef goulash and you ended up with mince, that one could be a killer, right? So age, I think I was about the same age when I started. My mum could burn water, so I had to learn to cook.
I think the first the thing that really got me started was a course at Norwich City College. I did it for like 8 weeks when I was like a teenager, when I was 13 or so on, and that was a really good course. And then for GCSEs I did home economics, and I did my cooking there, which was good. And then I suppose a really important point is when you do move away, and that kind of teaches you a lot of things. That kind of teaches you independence, but it also teaches you, or you have a choice. You can either live off takeaways, or you can go out all the time, which I did a little bit. Yes, not the takeaway bit, but I used to sort of take advantage of a lovely restaurant, in the Czech Republic and Sweden. But I also used to cook a lot, and I didn't have internet in my place, so I had to go down to the internet cafe, sort of 15 minutes down the road, and I'd have like an hour or two, and I used to just sort of write out all of these recipes, in my diary, because I didn't have like a good phone or anything. I was quite sort of old school in those days. And I used to have my diary, used to write it all out. I've still got those diaries, with those recipes, and that was sort of really, really good. And sort of seeing a different culture, different cuisine, I thought it was quite interesting as well.
School days recipes from Brenda again. Do you ever make some school days recipes?
Yeah, probably. I mean, to be honest, Brenda, I can't exactly remember what those would be, but like the really hearty traditional recipes, which will always be there, sort of real family favorites, sort of things like toad in a hole, kind of steak and chips, sort of jacket potatoes, just really honest, sort of hearty food is kind of lovely to enjoy. And I think to be able to do the basics, and and to be able to do the basics well is a really important part of cooking. You don't always have to use the most expensive cuts of meat. The very best cooks,
absolutely,
like the very best chefs, will take the cheaper cuts, the very underrated cuts, meat and vegetables and whatever else, and turn them into something really delicious. And
I do. I cook things like ox hearts and cheeks, lovely. And also I love that stuff. Bath chaps, lovely. Lisa's come up with one. Just a statement. She says, I do a choc crunch with mint custard.
Very nice.
That sounds quite nice, actually.
I
could live with that.
Yeah. I've never had mint custard before.
No, I don't, but I kind of like the idea of it. Oh, me brethren's here. He's brought me a cup of tea. Cheers, Richard.
Lovely.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Thank you. Cup of tea. Right.
Lucky you.
Oh, I know. He's just getting it organised. Who else has got? Yeah, I've done a couple of school recipes myself, but mostly the school pud type things, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's get on to another one. I think we've kind of answered this, but do you work to a script or do you just wing it?
I would say, I would say that I tend to wing it. The day before, the night before, I'll cook. I'll do it on a Saturday, so I have a kind of rough plan. So I know on a Saturday I need to, produce 3 or 4 different videos, for example. So I will have a set kind of structure, how to do that. And my kind of concepts and the way that I've been doing it has probably changed. When I initially started, I would introduce my channel, and I would always say the same type of thing. Sort of what the Foodie kitchen review is about, but now it's more about using kind of words and sort of just describing sort of what's going on really, and I tend to keep it quite kind of free and quite organic. It would be nice, I suppose, in some respects, to have it all kind of scripted and written out, but that would take probably a lot of time, and I'm spending a lot of time already on, kind of the whole YouTube thing, which is quite a big commitment. And like the skill, like to improv, just to kind of, sort of like we're doing now, sort of just to, sort of work, sort of off the bat and just sort of go for it is a real skill. And, I feel I'm developing that, and I feel I can develop it more. So it's quite, it's quite nice sort of just to go with the flow, really.
There's something I've always felt uncomfortable with. I think it's John Cleese said it's something about the Englishness of us, is that we don't particularly like self-promoting. We don't. No. We do. It's not an English thing at all, is it? We don't really like it.
No.
It's okay. It's very difficult to explain to people that aren't British. That it is a little bit uncomfortable self-promoting. So I'm useless at it. I've only just really started doing it, and usually in writing underneath my buy me a coffee, that sort of thing. Do we have another sort of question, or Southern school day food might be a lot different? Brenda's never had an eaten mess. Oh,
you're missing out, Brenda. You really are.
And if Patrick's still there, an eaten mess is just a pav that's been dropped on the floor and scooped into a bowl.
and fruit.
It is, though, isn't it?
More or less, yeah.
Kind of. It's a smashed up pav.
It's very tasty. It's
it is super tasty. Summer.
Yeah, a nice.
Oh yeah, here's one for you, mate.
Oh,
put him straight, Dom. Put him straight, mate.
Marmite, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be Marmite.
Gotta be. Yeah. Yeah, I've never really sort of gone near the first one, Paddy. Sorry.
Vegemite is really, it's just as delicious as if anything, it's a little more. It's got a bit more texture to it, a little more grainy.
Lovely.
I prefer the flavour of Vegemite, but I prefer the texture of Marmite. So I couldn't slip a Rizzler between them really in general use. It depends what I'm using it for. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose the only the only time that I'd have Marmite would be with cheese. I'd have sort of cheese on toast, and I'd have a bit of Marmite. That's the only time I do. I do have a small jar of Marmite at home, but that's
There's a war going on in the comments now.
Yeah.
No. Patrick says no. Wrong answer, Dom. From Helen,
sorry,
Lady Likeables.
Yeah, I'm very, very sorry there.
Are you good at using up food without throwing anything away? That's from Lisa.
Yeah. So I think this is really important, really, really important. And kind of being slightly serious here with the way the planet is, everything. We need to use our food, and we can't afford to throw it away. And it's something scary like sort of 60-70%.
Yeah.
Of kind of food we're throwing away.
And that's in the Western world in general. A lot of it just gets wasted. That makes me cry.
No. So, I think if you care about the planet, which hopefully, we all do, you've got to think about where, number one, where the food is coming from. And number two, you've got to utilize every last morsel there.
Yeah.
So I hate waste. I don't waste anything.
I'm even going to start a garden next year. I've been promising me for ages. But the first thing I'm going to do, as soon as I've got a bit of spare money, is I'm going to grab myself a composting bin, and the stuff I'm throwing in my orange bin now to go. Yeah,
perfect.
That's all going in my compost, and then by next spring I'll have a bit of decent compost. So I don't even want to waste the bits of cabbage I peel off, or my onion skins.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
We chefs have got we know what to do with onion skins, don't we? Get that ground stuff green. So I would consider I think Dom is as well. Yeah, I think every good chef kind of prides himself on it. Really, I would think.
Yeah, I think this is a really important point. A very a very topical point, and very very important.
Patrick, behave. Of course you don't.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, this is it. People always find something that's going off in the fridge. We used to have a thing called Tupperware back in the day. And the good thing about Tupperware was that if you had something, what you'd do is you'd wrap it in you put it in your Tupperware container. You didn't have to throw it away. So you just put it in Tupperware, you put it in the back of your fridge for 3 weeks, and then throw it away. Great.
Exactly, yeah. So my whole fridge, is full of Tupperware. Sort of full of things, to eat, and so that's what it's about. So so where I'm working at the moment, I can't, so I can't go out, to buy food. So I always have to have my own lunch. But that's a great opportunity because I'll cook in the evening. So I cook some food today, and then I'll just have my lunches kind of set up. And that's another really important point. If you're a cook, it's kind of testing your creativity to sort of look at a carrot and onion and some leftover tomato sauce and beans and a bit of sort of sausage or bacon.
Challenge, fridge challenge, I call it. Yeah, it's my fridge challenging me to do something with what's in it.
Yeah.
And okay, so all right, a fried cabbage with a fried egg on top. Great, why not? Let's do it. I'm not throwing it away.
No. It works. It works. Yes.
Yeah, that's another recipe I want to do soon. That's a sweet and sour cabbage.
Nice.
It sounds crazy, or sweet and sour cauliflower, sweet and sour cabbage, but they're great. They're lovely. Right. What are your short-term and long-term goals, would you say, Dom?
Okay, I'm going to say some stuff now. I don't know how it will be received, but so these are my kind of visions and targets that I've set myself. So by February 21, I'd like to have 2,000 subscribers. So that's Yeah, so that's my first one. The whole idea behind of starting YouTube was really to have a kind of form of passive income, to get monetized. But as I've said, I've had some really fabulous byproducts from that, and I actually get a lot of enjoyment. And I think now I'm really really enthusiastic, really passionate about the community and about the people, because the people really make it. And I'm sure I would have given up within the first few weeks if I didn't kind of feel those kind
apart from this lot of delinquents here. Yeah.
Everyone's wonderful, everyone's really great. So I can say to myself, that was my goal by February, to have 2,000 subscribers. However, the whole kind of journey that I'm going on, and the people, like the guys that are watching this video, are sort of potential audience, all really amazing people, and we all have a common interest, which is food. So I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm doing one video a week. I kind of question myself and think, well, what would happen if I did 2 videos a week? And so I'm questioning myself then. What can I do to make my content better? So short term, it's about getting that number and ask myself how I can get that number. Long term, the sky's the limit. There are some big American YouTubers, and okay, we have some big YouTubers in the UK, but it'll be nice to balance it out a little bit. And I'd like it. Of course, that's a lot of hard work. But
yeah,
nice to as far as long term goes.
Breaking up a little bit. I don't know what's happened. It's. I think what I'll do is I'll take the. Are you still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, great.
Okay, fine.
That's all right. It was just breaking up a bit.
Yeah.
Was I the only one hearing that? Maybe someone else? No. Okay. Right. Did you feel you answered the question there, Dom?
Yes. Whether everybody heard it or not, it's a different story though.
Is everybody okay with that? Lisa's all right with it by the looks of it.
Good. Yeah.
Promite. I've never heard of Promite. Promite.
Oh, so funny.
I used to work in ammunition and explosives. That sounds like an explosive.
Yeah, that sounds something else. Promite. I've never heard anything like that before.
Sounds like something to open the sluices at both ends, mate.
Oh my god.
Dear. I think I've seen Promite. Yeah.
Lovely.
Probably when I was looking on Tinternet for Vegemite and Marmite images. Yeah. Right. Got them more questions. So, where do you see your channel in 5 years' time? I mean, you want residual income, right? You get the residual. Yeah. And it's royalties after that, because you don't have to keep making the videos. Mm-hmm. You keep them ticking over, but your old videos are earning you money every week. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. Residual.
Yeah. I think I'm learning about that, and sort of just being on this call now. You've kind of said a few things which I wasn't aware of. So I'm learning things every kind of day, every week. But there's no reason why I can't mirror the big kind of YouTubers around the world. I mean, I was just going to say American, but it's not just America. There are big YouTubers in sort of major countries. So there's some great YouTubers here, but I'm very very English, and I love our culture, I love our cuisine, and we're a really fabulous country, and so I really want to showcase us, and and
we have been slated in the past. It was always the old joke: if you want to terrify a Frenchman, tell him an Englishman's cooking his lunch. And I think it was Keith Floyd that once said that. I love Keith Floyd. He's one of my earliest food heroes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he went out and he did those warts and all outside broadcasts, but
he is, yeah,
off his face on a bottle of Chateauneuf de Pape half the time as well.
Yeah.
A bottle or three of Chateauneuf de Pape. Swear, Patrick, moi, swear. So yeah, with a good kind of, is that where you're looking at a sort of comfort zone and lots and lots of because one thing that's come across in this interview is, apart from your passion, which is obvious, is you are ambitious, and that, I don't say that in a derogatory way. I think that's a wonderful thing, you know, to be ambitious and really go for it. You know, you want that. You're hungry for it. I can see.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, I have my career. I have my job. I kind of work in chocolate. You know, I sell chocolate basically, and you know, I'm very, very lucky to have my job, and I absolutely love my job. You know, and it's food, and you know, it's sales and it's food.
Hard luck, ladies, is taken.
But you know, I do really love the YouTube. You know, it's a really amazing thing to do, and I feel that I'm just at the start, you know, of my journey, and you know, there's no point doing it, you know, for the kind of shorter term. You really need to persist, and you know, I'd like to think things are going okay, but you know, I've some targets and some ambitions to meet there. You know, which I will do, but you know, as I've said, and you know, I'll say it again, what really makes it enjoyable is the community, you know, and the people.
Yeah.
And you know, to have that, you know, is really really awesome.
Having said that, now, Dom, what would you like to say to our audience that we've got now, and the people that are going to be watching this in the days and weeks and months to come?
I would like to say, you know, I sincerely appreciate you tuning in and watching this video, and you know, I really appreciate, you know, you kind of supporting, you know, the kind of smaller YouTubers like me, and you know, I think this is a fantastic project that, you know, you've got going, Pete, and you know, I think it's really, really humbling. I think it's really, really lovely how you're, you know, kind of working with, you know, the kind of smaller YouTubers like myself, and you know, you're kind of, you know, sort of helping us, you know, kind of expand our platform a little bit. You know, I think that's really, really lovely.
I just remember what it was like trying to get a name, you know, and it's I'm still struggling in some ways, but because I want to get to that 10,000, you know, and it's not easy. But of course, you'll always have ambitions to go higher than you currently are. But it's also good to have a good long-term ambitions like yourself. You know, I came into this really just trying to make a legacy of my cooking skills from you know, my children and the generations afterwards. I didn't really think about it in terms of earning, but I'm glad it does and is and will, and it might even leave a legacy of earning for my family after I'm gone. So that is rather good. We're kind of at the 2 minutes to finish. I don't know how you feel about going on a bit longer. How do you feel about going on a few minutes longer?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You're good with it. If you're good with it, because there's quite, you know, we've still got a lot to chew through, and
I know. Yeah, it's gone.
This bunch of rascals have been quick firing questions at us. And
they are, aren't they? Yeah, they're very quick.
So Melissa's. What's this one from Melissa? Let's see that. There you go.
Thank you.
Now that's just what we've been saying, isn't it, Don?
Exactly.
About how lovely they are, and they're all the same. Even Patrick.
even.
Yeah, with his Vegemite.
Promite.
I've got a parcel for you, Patrick. It's getting posted tomorrow, mate. It's chucking in a few swear words. You reckon I'll get to 10k swear words? Bollocks. There, I said bollocks. All right, let's go to some trivia questions now, Dom.
Okay, we'll see how I do with these.
All right, where would you bury hidden treasure if you had some? Melissa got this yesterday.
I would bury it in my dad's garden out in the countryside somewhere.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. What do you dip a chicken nugget in, apart from the bin?
Yeah, I know. I would dip it in barbecue sauce. I quite like ketchup, quite like mayo, but barbecue's got a nice, kind of smokiness. So, yes, barbecue.
Melissa was honey and mustard all the way.
Okay.
I mean, I think that was pretty class. Melissa's class act, She's a classy girl, that one. What's your favourite junk food? Come on, own up.
Five Guys. I like Five Guys.
Really? Oh, yeah. Wow.
I like Five Guys. I mean, there's no doubt, that KFC, tastes really good. And Mackie D's is it's good. But I think a Five Guys burger, is pretty indulgent. And they kind of, sort of serve the fries, kind of put heaps in the bag, and you will certainly not leave Five Guys leaving.
There's nothing like that hungry. Where we are in real. I can get. In fact, the best thing in real is some of the kebab shops. And they're quite good. There's a couple of really, really good ones in real.
I do like a kebab. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Lovely. Lots of garlic and mayo.
But my favourite junk food of the junk food chains is probably KFC. Around here, it's all I can get. Because it is actually a piece of chicken, and it's I don't like all the other sundry items. I just like the pieces of chicken and the coleslaw. That's all I eat.
Yeah, it's tasty. It's a nice recipe.
You look like a classy guy, mate. So what do you drink with dinner?
So, this is another thing about me. So I used to work in the wine industry. I spent three years in the wine industry.
Oh, you've got to meet my friend Bill Kong from Hong Kong. Okay. Yeah, he's a wine nut. He's in Hong Kong at the moment, and if he's watching this, he'll want to get in contact with you and you'll probably want to get in contact with him because we were thinking of doing this whole gastronomy thing together.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think you'd be a good match for him in something like that as well. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a lovely bloke. He is. Bill Kong, his name is.
Yeah.
That's good. What movies could you watch over and over and over ad nauseum and still love?
So I'm a bit of a cheesy geezer when it comes to movies. So, I like the movies from the 80s. So, I like things like Fatal Attraction. I like things like Roadhouse. So really, really old school cheesy movies. I mean, I love things like
Bunny Boiler movies.
Yeah. So I get mocked by my partner, my family and friends, but I've just got quite an old school sort of cheesy taste in movies, and I can just watch them. I guess I just don't like watching bad movies, so I would prefer watching the same movie a few times because I know it's good, basically.
I prefer old movies because all the modern movies are trying to make political statements all the time, and I find it absolutely tedious. Yeah. So I like the ones that are going back before to the age of innocence, before actors decided they were going to be politicians. Yeah, I think that's just from my own personal perspective. What did you want to be when you was a child? What was your ambition as a boy?
So when I was a little boy, I used to do some magic tricks. I used to really love my magic. So I guess even then, I like to try to perform and kind of be in front of people, whatever. So I used to do quite a bit of magic, but no, I didn't. I think that's one thing that I really enjoyed, and it was only kind of teenage years, and I started to reconsider.
Patrick's going to get a slap in a minute. Too much swearing in the new movies. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. I don't swear. I don't like swearing on air. It's just, I don't know. Something about me, I guess. Yeah, you should. I was a drill sergeant in the army at one time, so I did learn to swear I learned to say some rather colourful things about what I'd do after I'd ripped his head off. Yeah, but that's I think civilians don't quite understand that that's just theatre. That drill sergeant thing, it's all theatre, and when your recruits realise it, they're ready. Once they get it, and they're slick, they're ready. Yeah, that's how that works.
It's interesting.
Have you ever cried because you were so happy?
Yes, and this happened about 5-6 months ago. So I used to work for a large supermarket. I won't name it, but I was a manager there.
Tesco, sorry.
No, but I spent 2 years, and after a year, I kind of knew it wasn't for me, and I kind of joined this group to progress and to do something. But sometimes these companies, are quite corporate, and they have a very set way of doing things. And I don't think I'm like that at all. And
rigid,
yeah, exactly. They've got all these sort of policies and procedures, and without being too horrid, like the people that I was working with have, a kind of a kind of certain personality, let's say, and kind of a certain way of doing things. And I knew that it wasn't for me. I knew that
you're more the entrepreneur. You don't belong in that at all.
No,
that rigid framework. No.
So I knew that that wouldn't kind of work for me. And it took me kind of 7 months, 21 applications, but I eventually went for this job, and I went back for the second interview, and then I kind of had the email from my now boss, my sort of the MD, said, Dom, I think you'd fit really well in here, and you've got the job. And I was here, he was in the house by myself, and I was kind of walking up the stairs reading this, and I just sank to my knees, and there were tears in my eyes, because of the relief. I'd kind of moved, from London back to Norwich, and I needed this job. And the reason why I was so relieved, not just because I was leaving a job which I didn't like, I was carving, a much better future for myself. It was meaning more of a Monday to Friday job. It was meaning sort of much greater earning potential, and just a real sense of being able to achieve something, and a platform to kind of sort of excel, sort of propel myself forwards. And that was seriously important. So the tears, the kind of crying was just relief of that kind of new chance, that new opportunity.
I think that's amazing, and so it's like a kind of huge relief, isn't it? Like when you get into a situation like that, it takes all the pressure off, and you can think again. And I think I've been in it's situations like that prompted me to cry from happiness. Yeah. And my children being born, of course, that was that's a big one.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you sing?
No.
You don't sing when no one else is around.
You don't want to hear it.
You're not hairbrushed either then.
It's one of those things that I wish I could. I wish I could, but I really, really can't. And whenever I do it, and people are around, they just tell me to shut up. So no, I can't sing. I haven't got that in me at all. Unfortunately.
I live in Wales, where you're supposed to be able to sing, but my problem was for years is I thought I could sing. Oops. Same with dancing. Do you dance when there's nobody around you as well?
I don't. The only time that I dance is at a party, a wedding or something, and so then I tend to dance quite a bit. But I need to have quite a few drinks. So sort of when I like, when there's a wedding or something like that, I do really like to enjoy myself, like to have a few drinks, and I'm kind of on that dance floor, and so I'm really boogieing away, which is good.
I do. I dance like your dad, though. That's my problem. Right, we're pretty close to the end. Has anyone got any questions for Dom while we're at it? Come on, you lot. Come up with questions.
Yes, please.
Honest, they don't shut up when you're talking, but look at it. Now we want them to put a question in.
Hilarious.
I do love you guys. You know that, don't you? I do. I love you. Love you lots. Oh, when the boat comes in. I did that on one of my Trinidad videos, wasn't it? On the 2018 Trinidad series. I don't know if you've seen any of that, Dom.
No, I haven't.
It was amazing. I went out. I befriended a channel called Taste of Trini, and she's a girl from Trinidad.
Nice.
And she was living in New York with a husband at the time. They now live in Houston. But she was kind of a homesick girl doing all the food from her island home, you know, from Trinidad and Tobago. And I was looking for this recipe for doubles, which is the famous Trinidad street food thing. And I found hers. I looked at loads of different recipes, but I found hers, and hers was the best one. And we've remained friends ever since. And then it was about 2 years into being a friend of hers. She said, "Oh, why don't you come over to Trinidad?" So I checked my bank balance and, all right then, yeah. Hopped on the next plane and boom, it's history. I've been there twice now. That's Mr. Cast Irons just joined us. Don't worry, mate. Mr. Cast Irons joined us, and he was the guy that did the video of the American, what do they call it? Goulash.
Oh, okay, the goulash.
And the American goulash is so different, like Brenda said.
Yeah.
It's minced beef, and it's finished off with the elbow macaroni. So it's like a one-pot meal, great big one-pot sort of out in the wilds meal. But if you think of it as if you know Hungarian goulash, you can't compare the two. It doesn't really compare. Yeah, but I like his cast iron pans. Cool. If I lived near him, I'd go over and nick them.
Yes, I want a cast iron pan. I do.
I think we're just about ready for wrapping it up. We've gone 12 minutes over time, but it has been really, really fantastic. And I'd like everyone to thank Dom for coming along, telling us all about his excellent channel. And I'm just gonna pop that up as a visual now for you, boys and girls. There we go. Let's get in there. And it's the Foodie Kitchen review. The link is in the description below the video. Get over there, have a look at a few of his videos if you like them, and I know you will. Make sure you subscribe. Give him the thumbs up for his videos. Put something in the comments just to let him know you care, and give him all the support and love he deserves. And we're going to get him to that goal somehow. We're going to get him to that goal through his own hard work, his own passion, and the work of you great people putting his videos about. So once again, thank you, Dom, for coming along and being a great sport, answering all the questions. And I think you've wowed the audience this time, mate.
Good.
Have you any last things to say before we turn off?
I would just say a big thank you, a big thank you to yourself, and a big thank you for everybody that's watching. Really, really appreciate all of the support, and I'm sure there's some great things to come as well. Okay, well, for my part, it's an honor and it's a duty, mate. So on that note, we'll bid you all goodbye, and thank you everyone for coming along. Love you guys, and we'll see you again on the next one. I've probably got a video coming out midweek, so have a look for that. Cheers, guys. Bye now.